guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Loki Motor Cars, and we have a special, recently traded in car to feature here that I know you're gonna wanna see. This is a 2014 Mustang GT California Special. So let's talk a little bit about the Mustang. This Mustang is the 5th generation. It's that S197 chassis. A lot of people love that chassis, especially when compared to the brand new ones, believe it or not. Now, the Mustang hit the streets all the way back in 1964 and a half. It was unveiled at the New York's World's Fair, and really just not only changed culture, but car culture and the car industry. Eventually, as you guys are aware, Chevrolet made the Camaro, Pontiac made the Firebird. But what's amazing is that all the way to this 2014, the Mustang really meant for something more than just being a car, and everybody happens to have a Mustang story, even if you've never owned one. So let's go ahead, dive into this 2014 Mustang GT California Special. Now, one thing to be aware of, California Special, that was first used back in 1968. I love on the S197 chassis that classic retro design. I feel like Ford has kind of moved a little away from it, but really the headlight design, really love the style. The whole front fascia. Now, on a California Special, you're gonna get some different aesthetics. It's not a performance package, it's an aesthetics package. So what you're gonna see is you get this special horizontal bar grille, both top and bottom, and then what they do is they take the chrome pony, instead of having it in the center, they move it over to the driver's side with the good old red, white, and blue, nothing like apple pie, hot dogs, and a Mustang. You can see the very tasteful lower lip spoiler down here, and you have fully functional fog lamps, super clean look, and like I said, it really hits that retro styling, the nail right on the head. When we go up onto the hood, you have 2 functioning heat extractors. I actually like these better than the ones on the new Mustangs, believe it or not. Just the size and the way that they are shaped into the hood, functional pieces, but also look good. Now, while you're on that hood, you'll notice a black stripe that kind of fades in the front and gets more solid towards the windshield. That is part of the California Special package, that GTCS. A lot of people think the CS is Carroll Shelby. No, it's not Carroll Shelby. It is California Special. Now, when we come around the bend here, whoever the previous owner was has swapped out the wheels. So this is a 19-inch wheel, nice design. Excuse me, strike that, not 19-inch. It comes stock with 19-inch wheels. This is a 20-inch wheel. I like the flat gray. I personally would have just left the stock wheel on there, but you can see behind the wheel, there's no brake performance package or anything like that. It just has your standard caliper with your standard ventilated rotor. But as we go down the side, you have this previous owner blacked out the 5.0 badge, and then there's our second stripe. So for 2014, instead of having the striping in the middle of the door, they actually dropped it down. And I think that really hits the nail on the head. If you look at the newer 2019 Mustang GT California Special, they moved the stripe back up. So I kind of really dig it being down low. You can see that lower sill that extends out, really blends in well with the front splitter. On the California Special, you're gonna get gray mirror covers. It works on this car, especially it being white, and also the gray roof on it. Very nice touch, just to give it a little bit definition and have it stand out. Now, as we work our way down the side, this is gonna be a zonk, but you know what? It looks good. It's a side vent, only comes on the GTCS, but it is a non-functional scoop. But what I like what Ford does is they take that plastic portion and kind of tuck it into the scoop so you really don't see it, so it almost looks like it's functional. As we work our way back, you got that classic Mustang quarter window. I really love that on this style, the S197. Coming out back, because it's a 2014, on the new Mustangs, they don't have this anymore, but I am gonna zonk this. I still feel 2014, they should have done something different with that. And then to wrap it out back, here's some more California Special goodness. You have an extra large rear wing. This is functional, so it will give you downforce. And then out back, you have the California Special GT, that simulated gas cap cover. Really love the look with the GT in the center. This owner decided to change out the rear exhaust, but you can see that Ford was doing something really great with the rear diffuser area and the taillights. I think if you ask most people when looking at a modern day Mustang, they love the taillight design on these the best, especially at night when you step on your brakes and whatnot. But why don't we go ahead, pop the hood, and see what's powering this pony. All right, guys, so we popped the hood. One thing I want to point out, remember, this previous owner must have really loved this car because with those American Muscle 20-inch wheels, he didn't stop with the modifications. Check out underneath the hood. That is that 5-liter Coyote V8. The previous owner put the Boss 302 intake plenum. This intake plenum is drop dead sexy. I love the Boss 302 logo. You got the Ford Racing logo, and that brushed aluminum looks so amazing. No plastic engine covers. Very, very massive strut tower brace. And you could also see, I really like what Ford was doing with the valve covers where it says powered by Ford. Very, very nice touch. Now, if you notice, there's some other changes. We got a BBK throttle body, a JLT Performance ram air intake. So whoever owned this before has definitely done it. Now, if you're looking at stock, which this obviously isn't, but stock, the Coyote V8 had 420 horsepower. You could have a 6-speed or an automatic. This one has the 6-speed automatic, not the manual. 0 to 60, stock, 4.3 seconds, 390 pound-feet of torque out of that stock motor. This car weighs around 3,722 pounds, could do the quarter mile in 12.7 at 111 miles an hour, 15 in the city, 26 in the highway, but we could only speculate what kind of power we got out of this now, because if it's been tuned correctly, these little additions for a naturally aspirated engine are really gonna pay some big dividends. Let's get to the best part. Let's fire up this GT CS. All right, guys, we're inside the 2014 California GT CS. Now, remember, like I said, with that California Special, you're getting exterior changes. There are also some interior changes. Now, if you're wondering, well, how much does Loki Motor Cars have this one priced for? It has a total of a little over 28,000 miles, and they're asking $25,000. Let's see what you get to the door panel. So you can see during 2014, remember, we got to keep it to the time period. That's what we were dealing with door panels during this time period. Very simplistic, but you'll notice with the California Special, you get that white contrast stitching with the leather piece there, but the top portion of the door and the rest of the door panel is rock hard plastic. Now, as you come to the dash, you'll see the GTCS logo, this faux carbon fiber, which actually looks very tasteful, believe it or not. A little softer on the dash, softer here, so it is better than on the door panel. They put a nice 12 volt conveniently. I like where they put that because you might be running a radar detector or something like that. You could stick it right there. You got your 2 AC vents, no fancy infotainment system. This is what we were dealing with 2014, the Shaker sound system. All the controls for your AC and everything are integrated into this whole center stack unit. You got your CD player, you can listen to Whitesnake and whatnot. Very simplistic, but easy to use and understand AC. And then this is going to be controlling that 6-speed automatic transmission. As we work our way back, you can see the owner previously that had this added some touches on the handle for the good old-fashioned e-brake. This does have a nice cover, which he added the chrome pieces on. And then you open this up like that. And then you have your USB, you got another 12 volt, so you have lots of nice connectivity there. And then these seats, these are the seats specific to the GT CS, California Special. Love the leather, Alcantara, contrast stitching, really nice job. I think that for somebody who wants to stand out from the Mustang crowd, this California Special is gonna do the business. Speaking of the business, come on over to the driver's side and I'll show you behind the wheel. All right, guys, here we are, business end. You can see the nice aluminum Mustang logo on the sill. This lights up at night, nice LED lighting. You do have a little bit of electric and a little bit of a manual. That's always been a zonk for me on these Mustangs. I wish they would just be full electric, especially on the California Special. Steering wheel. There's that classic pony. I like the thickness. it's meant to be retro look, especially those gauges. I mean, look at that analog speedometer, tachometer. What's cool is though, in the center, you got a plethora of different gauges you can go through. Inlet, air temp, oil temp, really lovely, that transmission temp, volts, air fuel ratio, really nice touches. And I like how clear and crisp the font was, especially for 2014. Remember, that was 5 years ago. Where were you 5 years ago? I wasn't even doing YouTube, so kind of crazy like that. But let's get to the best part. Let's take this Mustang for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving Loki Motor Cars in Clearwater, Florida. We're in the 2014 Mustang GT CS on throttle. Great sound coming from that engine. Obviously with the 6-speed automatic, not as efficient as today's 10-speed automatic transmission. Great sound coming from not only the back of the car, but also the front of the car as well. For 2014, remember, you do get those track apps on your Mustang GT. And overall, you know what? I enjoy driving this car because I love the view out over the hood. You can see those heat extractors that I was pointing out earlier. Visibility is great, and that's been really, no matter what generation Mustang, visibility's always been good out of them. You got to compare apples to apples. So if you're wanting some fancy infotainment system, you're not going to get it in this car. This car, though, like you saw underneath the hood, not only are you going to get stock 420 horsepower, but this one's been massaged a little bit with that Boss 302 intake, plenum. You got the JLT ram air intake, that BBK throttle body. So you're definitely, somebody's put some thought into adding extra performance. What's wonderful is just driving on this highway here, doing 60 miles an hour. The car is nice and smooth and comfortable. Seats are great. Steering wheel feels good, and just a pleasure to drive, to be honest with you. But when you're ready to rock and roll, she pulls really nice all the way through the rev range. With the Coyote engine in this one, it redlines at 7,000 RPM. So if you compare that to a new 2019, you're gonna get an extra 500 RPM. Plus, with the 2019s, you also get an additional 40 more horsepower stock. This one's not stock. I would like to find out exactly what kind of power it does put out. But the great news is, I'm really not hearing any creaks, rattles. Everything feels nice and tight. The steering wheel feels great. I feel connected to the front wheels. We're gonna get to our little spot where we'll see how she handles, but very, very smooth driving Mustang. And that's the great thing, is that if you want that retro styling, but you don't want all the retro headaches, you can get into one of these and it really just drives perfect. All right, guys, let's do a little acceleration. On the brakes, tip it in. Like I said, good feedback. You got that classic rear wheel drive. Come on out, swing it down, back on throttle. I'm telling you, for $25,000 with a little over 28,000 miles on it, this thing's got plenty of get up and go, and you're gonna have fun and look good while you're doing it, because I really do like the additions on the California Special. The side vents are questionable. I'm willing to accept it just because they're not too obnoxious. But everything else just, like I said, just drives really, really nice in this California Special. Let's see if we could get one more little go around here. Brakes feel great, I'm telling you, without Brembos or anything like that. Turning is perfect. Nice and smooth. On throttle. Really, really nice. All right, guys, let's see how we do through this little right-left transition. On the brakes, feels good. Really nice. Really, really nice. So hopefully this gave you a nice little roundabout of what this 2014, that S197 Mustang's all about. Will that be the car to have in the future? over the current S550? That's yet to be determined, but we're gonna go ahead and get back to Loki Motor Cars and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been an amazing time here at Loki Motor Cars with this lightly pre-owned 2014 Mustang GT California Special. Definitely gotta thank Paul, Charlie, and the rest of the crew here for getting us access to some very interesting cars that get traded in here. If these are the types of things you like to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. We got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He loves these Mustangs. He loves bringing them to you. Check him out on Instagram at Mosh Photos. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.